You're here because you're looking for something, aren't you? Maybe you can't even put it into words, but there's this gnawing, restless feeling inside of you, a voice that whispers truths you've been taught to ignore. It tells you something's wrong with the way the world works. It tells you that the life you've been sold, the life they want you to live, isn't just a lie, it's a trap. That voice inside you, it's not broken. It's not outdated. It's you, the real you. The man you've buried under layers of guilt, shame, and societal conditioning. And it's time you listened to him. Let's not waste time sugarcoating things, because you don't need comfort right now. You need the truth, and the truth is hard. It's raw and it's ugly, but it's also liberating if you've got the guts to face it. The truth is this: you've been lied to your entire life. They told you masculinity was toxic. They told you aggression was dangerous. They told you competition was harmful. They told you that your very nature, the things that make you a man, were things you should feel ashamed of. And you believed them, didn't you? Or maybe you didn't entirely believe them, but you let them worm their way into your mind. You started to doubt yourself. You started to question whether there was something wrong with you. For wanting to be strong, for wanting to lead, for wanting to fight, to win, to conquer. But let me ask you this. Do you think civilization was built by men who doubted themselves? Do you think we're here today, sitting in safety and comfort, because our ancestors apologized for their masculinity? Do you think they hesitated before picking up their weapons and defending what mattered to them? No. Civilization exists because of men who embraced their strength, their aggression, their courage. Men who fought, bled, and died so that their families could thrive. Men who didn't sit around wringing their hands, worrying about being too toxic. Men who knew their purpose, embraced their nature, and did what needed to be done. And now they want to take that away from you. Let's not pretend this is accidental. It's not. There's a reason they want you weak. There's a reason they want you soft, compliant, and docile. A strong man is dangerous, not just physically, but mentally. A strong man questions things. He challenges authority. He refuses to be controlled. A weak man, on the other hand, is easy to manipulate. He does what he's told. He doesn't cause trouble. He doesn't fight back. And that's exactly what they want you to be. They don't want you to be the man who builds, the man who protects, the man who leads. No, they want you to be the man who apologizes for existing. They want you to be the man who's too afraid to speak up, too afraid to stand out, too afraid to fight. But let me tell you something about fighting. Fighting isn't optional. Fighting is inevitable. Life is a fight. Survival is a fight. Every inch of progress humanity has ever made has been fought for. And if you're not willing to fight, then you're already dead. You want to know what happens when men stop fighting? Look around. Look at the world we're living in. Boys are being raised to be weak, passive, and fragile. They're being told to suppress their instincts, to reject their nature, to be more like women. And what's the result? A generation of men who are lost, depressed, and suicidal. Men who feel like they have no purpose, no direction, no identity. Men who are afraid to take risks, afraid to fail, afraid to live. Do you know why so many men are miserable? It's not because they're out of touch with their feelings, or because they need to cry more. It's because they've been stripped of their purpose. A man without purpose is like a ship without a rudder, adrift, aimless and doomed to sink. And here's the harsh truth. Your purpose isn't comfort. Your purpose isn't convenience. Your purpose isn't to sit around watching Netflix, playing video games, and waiting for someone else to take care of you. Your purpose is to be strong, to be a protector, to be a provider, to be the rock that others can depend on. Strength isn't just about muscles. It's about resilience. It's about discipline. It's about having the mental fortitude to keep going when everyone else gives up. It's about being the kind of man who can look adversity in the eye and say, "You're not going to break me." And let's not kid ourselves, adversity is coming. It always is. Whether it's war, economic collapse, or just the inevitable chaos of life, there will come a time when the people around you, your family, your friends, your community, will need you to step up. And when that time comes, you'd better be ready. Because if you're not, people will suffer. Do you think women want weak men? Do you think they want partners who cry every time life gets hard? Do you think they feel safe with men who are too afraid to stand up for themselves, let alone for their families? No, women don't love weak men. They pity them. And pity is the death of desire. Women want a man who can protect them. A man who can make them feel safe. A man who can shoulder the burdens they can't. That's not sexism. That's biology. That's the way we're wired. Men and women are different. We were designed to complement each other, not compete with each other. Women bring life into the world. They nurture it, they sustain it, they make it worth fighting for. And men fight for it. Men protect it. Men ensure that the wolves don't get in. Because make no mistake, the wolves are always there. They're lurking in the shadows, waiting for the moment you let your guard down. And when that moment comes, they won't just take you down. They'll take everything you love with you. That's why you can't afford to be weak. That's why you can't afford to buy into their lies about masculinity being toxic. You know what's toxic? A world without strong men. Without strong men, society collapses. Without strong men, there's no one to fight the wars, to enforce the laws, to build the infrastructure, to protect the vulnerable. Without strong men, chaos reigns. You think I'm being dramatic? Fine, let's talk about history. Every great civilization that ever existed was built on the backs of strong men. And every time those men grew weak, every time they became complacent, apathetic and soft, that civilization crumbled. The Roman Empire? Gone. The Mayan Empire? Gone. The British Empire? A shadow of its former self. Weak men don't protect their families. Weak men don't build civilizations. Weak men don't stand up to tyranny. Weak men let their wives and children suffer because they're too scared to act. Weak men let society crumble because they're too afraid to fight. Weak men let evil prevail because they'd rather stay comfortable than confront the truth. And that's exactly what's happening right now. We're living in a world that's actively trying to destroy masculinity, to erase it, to pretend it's no longer necessary. But do you know what happens when men stop being masculine? Predators thrive, tyrants rise, innocent people suffer. You were not put on this earth to be a victim. You were not put on this earth to be comfortable. You were put on this earth to fight, to be strong, to be stoic, to be the kind of man who stands tall when the world is falling apart. And that's not easy. It's not supposed to be. Being a man means embracing struggle. It means enduring pain. It means sacrificing your comfort, your safety, even your life, if that's what it takes to protect the people you love. Because at the end of the day, that's what being a man is all about. Sacrifice. Sacrificing your time, your energy, your desires, your life for something greater than yourself. For your family, for your community, for the future. That's not toxic. That's noble. That's honorable. That's what it means to be a man. So the next time someone tells you to be more sensitive, to tone it down, to get in touch with your feminine side, remember this: they're not doing it for your benefit. They're doing it because they're afraid of you. They're afraid of what you represent. They're afraid of the power you hold, and they should be. Because a strong, stoic, masculine man is the most dangerous thing in the world. And that's exactly what you were born to be. So stand up, embrace your strength. Be the man you were meant to be, not just for yourself, but for the women who need you, for the children who depend on you, for the society that wouldn't exist without you. Be strong, be stoic, be unstoppable, because the world doesn't need fewer men like you, it needs more.